here we go, guys. Coaching call. It is Friday for us, and today we're going to do something a little more fun. We thought, actually, Eric thought about this. We're all just going to bring our own kind of topic to the table today and discuss whatever we want to discuss, whether it's something that we experience, something we've learned along the way, a nugget for clients to help people change their lives. Whatever it is, it's going to be unique and it's going to be fun. So are we ready? Eric, what'd you bring to the table today? What would you like to share with us?
My topic today is plateauing.
Yeah.
I have this safe zone where I hit about 170 pounds and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy here. And even though my goal is like so much farther, and then I start self-sabotaging, so I call it my plateau. It's my safe zone where I'm like, I'm afraid that if I go past this, I'm gonna get too sexy. And if I, and I'm scared to look at myself in the mirror because I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to go to work. So I kind of stay at that thing. And then I find myself picking a little bit. And so ways that I work on getting past that is, since I don't have the willpower for myself sometimes, I have the willpower of, I don't want my wife to catch me. And so that being said, in a joking but serious way, that if you have a certain goal or target to reach, that you should share that with somebody verbally and have an accountability partner. Somebody who's going to call you out on your BS or be like, well, you said you wanted to hit 160 pounds and then build back up. So why are you half-assing it at 170? You're just going to settle again? Somebody you love that you can take some constructive criticism from without strangling each other. And in the same side, you should hold something up for them that they cherish, So that's my little tidbit on plateauing, and it only comes to mind because I'm currently in that spot right now when I'm like, what's a couple more tortilla chips? And then I'm like, I'm starving because I should have spread my food out better because I can't do it,
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great topic. And so there's something about humans, okay? And I'm going to talk about mindset on this. So we have this inner like homeostasis, this inner balance. It's natural. We all have it. And this is why we self-sabotage. It's why we drift. It's why we plateau. And it's got nothing to do with our willpower is like failing us, that we suck at it, that we're at the end of it. What it is we have this natural instinct internally for homeostasis. And honestly, the way I heard it best was this. If your temperature is 68 degrees, and that's what we expect to always be at 68 degrees, okay? And all of a sudden, coldness starts coming in and it starts dropping and dropping and dropping. Your body's gonna be like, wait a minute, you're a 68 degree, or why it's getting cold in here, it will turn on the heaters to bring you back to your 68 degrees. Now it does in the opposite side too. So if the heaters come on and you're doing really good at something, and this is a metaphor, of course, so it could be anything in life you're doing really, really well at, and it's rising to 88, 98, all of a sudden your body's like, oh my gosh, mentally, all these neurons, like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, you're a 68 degree, or you're at 98 degrees, we gotta turn that heat off and bring you back down. You lose momentum. You start doing habits that make you feel safe at that homeostasis, that's 68 degrees, And what it comes down to is identity. We identify ourselves as that homeostasis at 68 degrees, but subconsciously we don't realize that. And that's where mindset and all this stuff really come into play a lot about, actually changing our lifestyles. And it's very common, hitting a plateau. We see clients all the time that hit a plateau. We have to drastically change something in order to trick their body. Otherwise, their body is self-correcting and doing that homeostasis. Their habits, their mental attitude, whatever they were doing, drops back down. And it works in both ways. So I think that's something really interesting to bring up here of why that stuff happens, why we naturally self-sabotage.
That was my second act. That was exactly what I was just about to say. I was leading into that. So thank you for saving my breath.
Did I get too geeky there, guys? I'm sorry. I just, yeah, been doing a lot of mindset studying. Awesome. But it's pretty interesting because it gives people hope, is what it does. We think it's always us, but it gives people hope. So very cool. Dan, what would you like to share tonight?
Well, since the other day we talked about exercise, I just wanted to touch a little bit on form because that's very important when we're exercising. So obviously I'm not a super expert. I don't think any of us are experts in exercise form, but we do have a lot of experience and a lot of years working out ourselves and probably training other people in person. So with that, I mean, since we're virtual, we're very lucky to have the Trainerize app that we're using that has a ton of videos and how-tos, which is super helpful. I would just say to everyone watching, if you are skeptical on form or anything, I would say don't just look it up on Google because I don't know how effective that would be. I think sometimes things all over the internet are, not always right. So, if you do have a question on form, ask us, or if not, the videos are super helpful too.
Yeah, for sure. Completely agree. I would trust any of our advice way over anything you find on Google, because if one of us didn't know the answer, we know one of us does know the answer and we would network that together. So definitely great point, Dan. Love that for sure. All right, Nicole, what would you like to talk about?
I would like to bring up or enunciate the importance of getting kids into healthier habits while they're young, because then they don't have to think, I don't know, we don't have to retrain ourselves like we do ourselves, growing up with crazy habits and not developing the healthiest habits. And, being a kid of the 90s, I had the Capri Suns and Gushers and all that junk. And I think about it, I'm like, why did I eat all that junk? And just because my mom allowed me to. But I've noticed a lot, like Cristiano, especially my 9-year-old, is always bringing up things, and you don't realize how much they hear and they pick up. And I'll kind of say, like, I don't remember teaching him that, but he picks it up from just hearing me talk about food. And like, he knows what carbs are. he knows what's a protein and what the difference is between a protein and a fat. And he'll ask me like funny questions like that. But I was really happy to see that they're teaching a lot of that in his school right now at his grade. So they're getting like real information, good information. And I actually wrote a letter or an email kind of applauding them doing such a good job of teaching healthier habits. I'm like, that's awesome. I wish I learned that as a kid, when they're sponges. And I think some of like the most fun I've ever had doing workouts that aren't really workouts would be like going on hikes with the kids or going to the playground with the kids, because they'll remember that stuff. Like, those are fun memories for them. You end up having so much fun, you don't even think that you're exercising. So I think bringing the whole family into it does a lot of good for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you wrote that letter to them and thanked them, because that's amazing. That's really cool.
Yeah, I spent weeks on nutrition. It was great.
That is really cool. I love to hear that. Really. Yeah, it's a question I used to get a lot. And sometimes I still do. People ask, how you get your son to eat so healthy? It's like, he didn't know anything else, honestly. We never fed him. When he was a baby, I homemade pretty much all his food, and he would eat whatever we were eating, just mushed up, honestly. But yeah, that's great. I love that topic for sure. And of course, you got to get everyone on the playground, right? Like we go to the playground in Belchertown. It's mad fun. I've been on all those things. Except when he wants to go on the spinny thing, I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of that one.
but
cool. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Alex, what would you like to talk about tonight?
I challenge everybody to go plant-based for 30 days.
Oh my God. I brought that up to my coach. I don't even know how I would do that because I'm allergic to beans, any grain. So it's like, where would I get my protein sources from? Yeah, because I thought about that. I really did. But
there's gonna be one specific food that you're just gonna have to eat every day then.
It would be protein shakes. I would starve. I would starve.
There's something out there.
Mm.
There's something.
Yeah, maybe when my allergies go down, because they started, I got tomatoes and peppers back. I'm super excited about that. Doesn't seem like a big deal to you guys maybe, but like it opens up Mexican food and Italian food. Oh, you muted, Alex.
I'm trying to just tell my little daughter to sit down so you
Oh.
can do that.
Gotcha.
But I would say is for maybe someone like you, Jessica, who can't try it out, but everybody else who can, try it for 30 days and see what happens.
Yeah, I am
just see what happens to your body.
Mm-hmm. Nicole's like, I'm already there. Go ahead, love. You were going to say something. Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
I was going to say, nope, not doing it.
Oh, no. Sir Eric Francis III. Dan, would you do it? Would you do vegan for 30 days to see?
That'd be tough for me. I really like chicken and steak and all those things. Yeah. I mean, I would like to try it. That'd be cool.
It's 30 days. I promise you guys would see a huge difference in just how your body transforms.
I bet. No doubt about that.
I'm gonna get my dog out of her seat. I'm so
okay.
sorry, guys.
No worries. Yeah. I am interested to see what its effects are because some people thrive and other people do not. It's one of those things where, it depends on your body. I'd like to know if my body would thrive or not.
I just wouldn't want to cook multiple meals. That's my thing. I'm not against it, but if you can't have it, then
yeah,
because then we have a 50-50 shot whether Maddox is going to eat it, not because
there's a way.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But we're an accountability company, so all I'm hearing right now is excuses.
I'm trying to think what would be my main source of protein without going way over my carbs. That would be the thing because
we're going to have to search.
Yeah. Yep. Because I have thought about that for sure. I would like to see, because Eric and I have even talked about that after you started it, Alex, we were going to do it in January. But I honestly don't know what that would look like for me because I'm so limited on foods.
You would eat like tofu and mushrooms all day, every day.
Probably right.
Yeah.
Spinach?
I can't. I'm allergic to spinach.
Broccoli.
Potatoes?
High in carbs. No potatoes. Sweet potato, but that's not high in protein.
Lentils?
Nope. No beans, no lentils, no legumes.
Quinoa?
No grains.
Quinoa's greens?
A grain.
Oh.
Like I can't have oats, quinoa, rice, barley, any of those grains.
How are you not in a bubble?
Because I'm a rebel. Awesome. Well, anyone watching, if you've gone vegan or you're thinking about it, definitely try it for 30 days. Like, no doubt, there's been some really good research on it for sure. I'm definitely not against it. If you can make it work for your lifestyle and it just works, why not? If it doesn't work for your lifestyle, obviously you can't force something that doesn't work for you either. The reality is anything that's going to work for you and support you healthy wise and whatever serves you for your goals is what you should try for sure.